हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। दंडवत प्रणाम। जय श्री प्रभु। जय गुरु।
Abdul Nimai Prabhu, Dandut pranams. So how are you doing these days?
गुड गुड प्रभु जी। हाउ आर यू प्रभु जी?
I'm fine. हाँ,
आप लोग वहां गए थे अच्छा ना? फोटो देखा मैंने आपका।
कहाँ पे देखा आपने?
न्यू वृंदावन फेसबुक पे।
हाँ, फेसबुक। यस प्रभु जी। इसी लास्ट वीकेंड ही मतलब लास्ट वीकेंड ही गए थे।
अरे, नेक्स्ट टाइम कब जा रहे हैं प्रभु जी आप?
I mean, maybe in summer sometime you want to come with us?
यस प्रभु।
हाँ, मैं आपको बताऊंगा प्रभु, अगली बार जब प्लान बनता है तो आई विल रिमेम्बर।
यस प्रभु।
बाकी how is nectar of devotion so far? Are you finding it complex? You're finding it simple?
सिंपल मतलब
समझ में आ रहा
समझ में आ रहा है, हाँ।
है। आज का थोड़ा हो सकता है कि आपने पहले इस टॉपिक पे कुछ सुना, रागानुगा साधना भक्ति के ऊपर।
नहीं प्रभु।
हाँ, थोड़ा आप ध्यान से सुनिएगा, थोड़ा सा ये कॉम्प्लेक्स है, थोड़ा सा।
अच्छा।
और जैसा भी सवाल हो पूछिएगा, क्योंकि जब मैंने पहली बार इस टॉपिक को सुना था ना,
हाँ
तो
हाँ।
मुझे थोड़ा सा वो लगा था कि हाउ टू डू दिस, व्हाट डज इट मीन।
अच्छा।
आई होप एवरीबडी अंडरस्टैंड्स, पर लेट्स सी।
आप
और
आप उतने सरल भाषा में समझाते हैं प्रभु को समझ में आए दे रहे
पता नहीं, वो तो समय बताएगा। All the papers are checked, Prabhuji. All Bhakti Shastri papers are done.
हैं। यस प्रभु जी।
NOI also finished.
NOI आल्सो फिनिश्ड, यस प्रभु।
Mm, very nice.
मतलब अभी देख रहा हूँ कुछ डिवोटीज स्टिल स्टिल दे आर सेंडिंग भगवत
Mm.
गीता NOI। तो उसके बाद वाला भी जो अभी रिसेंटली कुछ आए हैं उसका नहीं चेक हुआ है, लेकिन जो पहले
First
आया था वो
batch.
चेक हो चुका है।
देखो, अगर सब कुछ ठीक रहा तो बाय अभी फेब्रवरी, है ना, तो मेरे ख्याल से 2 हफ्ते में और हम लोग एनओडी खत्म कर सकते हैं प्रभु जी, मिड मार्च तक। तो
अच्छा।
मेरे ख्याल से अप्रैल एंड या मई सेकेंड वीक
हाँ।
we should be able to we should be done with this course, I think.
तो NOT के बाद कौन सा है प्रभु जी?
ईशोपानिषद।
अच्छा।
So, ईशोपनिषद थोड़ा मतलब उसमें है तो 18 वर्ष, पर उसमें हम लोग मल्टीपल वर्स एक साथ ले सकते हैं। सो होपफुली एंड ऑफ अप्रैल, आई मीन एंड ऑफ अप्रैल या मई सेकेंड वीक, आई एम होपिंग टू बी डन विद भक्ति शास्त्री कोर्स।
हाँ।
लेट्स सी।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then Pranam.
धन्यवाद, प्रणाम हिमांशु।
Prabhuji, I could not attend the last week class. I'm not sure where is the recording, Prabhuji.
Our Manohar Gopal Prabhu is there, I see him, he is the master about recordings.
It was uploaded, bro. Okay. Prabhuji, is it possible we can live stream also this so that, if someone join late, he can, start see the video from YouTube directly, on the same
Yeah,
time?
bro, I tried, but somehow it doesn't accept my driving license for Google account. So that's why is the issue.
Let me know,
So it
Prabhuji.
needs verification.
Oh, I can help in any way, Prabhuji. Please let me know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, we can start now. So this topic is little bit complex. I mean, from the last time when we discussed this topic, at the end devotee said कि थोड़ा सा difficult हुआ समझने के लिए। थोड़ा मतलब the first time I heard this topic, it was little bit like had some difficulty grasping the concepts. So please, any question to raise your hand or interrupt me and ask here. There are only 8 slides, so very compact, but okay. So with your permission, we can start now. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha. Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyo Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Mukham Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dina Tarimam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Take blessings from Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has come to show us this path of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, and may by his mercy we may be able to understand what he has come to teach us. So as the name indicates, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti is an advanced stage of Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti is of 2 types. One is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, one is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Simple terms, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is which is done according to rules and regulations, and Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti which is done with attachment, because Rag means attachment. But then along with Rag, there is another word which is Anuga, and that's why it consists of 2 words, Rag and Anuga. Raga and Anuga becomes Raganuga. Anuga means to follow, and Rag means with attachment. And simple explanation of this is, when we want to follow one of the eternal essence, when we want, suppose if we hear about the pastimes of Krishna, and if we are attracted to how Subal serves Krishna, and if you are very attracted to Subal service to Krishna, and then if we try to follow how Subal serve Krishna, so we follow Subal, then we will also get a form where we can serve Krishna either under Subal or like Subal. But we will, so however we want to serve Krishna, we will be given an opportunity to serve Krishna in that way. And how we want to serve Krishna is revealed to us when we hear about how everybody serves Krishna. How Nanda Baba served Krishna, how Yashoda served Krishna, how Radharani served Krishna, how Rupa Manjari and Rati Manjari served Krishna, how Lalita and Vishakha served Krishna, how Subal and Sriram and Madhumangal serve Krishna, and how Chattak Pattak serve Krishna. So we hear about everybody, how they serve Krishna, and something resonates with us. It happens when the heart becomes relatively pure. We are attracted to somebody's service to Krishna. Now, there are 2 words. Here I'm saying in my own words, and then we'll go through description. There is Ragatmika and there is Raganuga. So Ragatmika are the eternal associates of the Lord. And Raga Anuga, because there's a word Anuga means follow. So Raganuga follows a Ragatmika Bhakta. Ragatmika Bhakta are Radharani, Lalita, Vishakha, Rati, Rupa, Subal, Shridama, Madhu, Nanda, Yashoda. They are all Ragatmika Bhakta, eternal associates of the Lord. And if you are attracted to one of the Ragatmika Bhakta, and we try to serve Krishna like a Ragatmika Bhakta, then we get a position where we can eternally serve Krishna in that. And it's a path of revelation. Okay. So the bhakti that's found distinctively in the residents of Vraja is called Ragatmika Bhakti, or what is found in the resident of Vrindavan. That bhakti is Ragat Bhakti of Rup, Rati, Radha, Lalita, Vishakha, and their bhakti is called Ragatmika Bhakti. We cannot be Ragatmika Bhaktas. We can be Raganuga Bhaktas, but not Ragatmika. Um, Following their footsteps is called Raganuga Bhakti. To define Raganuga Bhakti, first Ragatmika Bhakti is discussed. Rag means intense attachment, is defined as natural, intense, and spontaneous attraction or thirst for Krishna. Uh, Thirst, hunger, spontaneous, whatever you say. A deep attachment is rag. Bhakti, exclusively impelled by such a thirst, is called Ragatmika Bhakti. Example is Nanda Baba, Gopi, Subal, Raptapatrak, Yamuna, Govardhan. They have intense attachment to Krishna, so they are all Ragatmika Bhaktas. Then there are two types of Ragatmika Bhakti. One is Kama Rupa, impelled by conjugal love, and one is Sambandha Rupa, impelled by other relations. So Radharani, Lalita Devi, Vishakha Devi, Rup Manjari, Rati Manjari, etc. They are Kama Rupa Ragatmika Bhakta. Kam itself means love. Now in this material world, the word Kam is seen as lust, but here when we say Kama Rupa, means out of conjugal relationship, like a boy and a girl, like that, conjugal relationship. So eternal associates who have a conjugal relationship with Krishna, that is also of two types that we will see in the later part of the presentation. They are called Kama Rupa Ragatmika Bhakta, and Nanda Baba, Yashoda Maya, and the friends and the servants. They are called Sambandha Rupa. Any other Sambandh other than conjugal love, they are called Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhaktas. Now, many persons have attained liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention and giving up sinful activities. This great attention may be due to lusty desires, inimical feelings, fear, affection, or devotional service. Okay, how are we doing up till now? What is Ragatmika Bhakta? What is Kama Rupa Ragatmika Bhakta? Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhakta? And what is Raganuga Bhakta? Are there any question on this? Is it clear? All the devotees?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. One question, Prabhuji. Sorry. Yeah, it's at the very beginning. I mean, it's way far away, but my question was, when we're talking about Raganuga Bhakti and Ragatmika Bhakti, once if a devotee attains his original spiritual position, does he become a Ragatmika Bhakta in the spiritual world, or does he still remain Raganuga Bhakta only, eternal?
Well, we can call them after Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti comes Bhava Bhakti, and after that comes Prema Bhakti. So today we will finish Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, next week Bhava Bhakti, and the last week of NOD will be Prema Bhakti. We can call them Prema Bhaktas. Ragatmika Bhakta is like when they are Prema Bhaktis. Ragatmika Bhakta, when they go back and they are either, and we know them, they have a particular relationship and they are serving. Now they're eternal resident of Braja, and we call them Ragatmika Bhaktas. Or if for somebody, um, um, if we know, for example, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we know eternally he serves as Kamala Manjari. So we see him as a Ragatmika Bhakta because he serves as Kamala Manjari. But if we don't know what their eternal form is, then we cannot follow them. Does it
Thank you so
answer?
much, Prabhuji. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. It answered my question.
Thank you. Anybody has any other questions so far? It's complex, so it's best to clear the concept so that when we go into little bit more detail, and then it's easier to grasp. That's why if we are clear with Ragatmika Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti, and then Kama Rupa and Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhaktas, then we are good.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
One question.
Yeah, Himanshu Prabhu, go ahead first.
So Prabhuji, Raga Anuga Bhakta can never be, even though they come to the prema stage, can they ever be come to the rag, because I heard in the lecture, Prabhu, that in the prema they can realize the relation also.
Yes.
So at
So
that
that,
time they can be ragatmika or never be ragatmika,
yeah,
still
they
prema bhakta.
can, yeah, Prabhu, they can be Ragatmika Bhaktas by definition, but can we follow them? Not until we know them, their spiritual form and their relationship and their name and how they serve Krishna.
But how
Until
that will be revealed to others, like that, that's what I just want to understand, Prabhu.
yeah,
Like,
so they,
that will be their internal relationship, it will reveal to that bhakta, but how it will reveal to others so that
yeah.
we know.
So best to say is, let's not consider them as somebody we can follow. Let's consider them as prema bhaktas, to simplify it. Is that all right?
Yes,
But
Prabhuji.
internally, can they be ragatmika bhaktas? Yes, internally they can be.
But their identity kind of will not be, maybe relation will not be revealed, so that we cannot consider them.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, see, Prabhu, they may have attained ragatmika bhakta state, but since we don't know, we just call prema bhakta to keep it simple. And we call the resident of Vrindavan who are now resident already there and we know about them. Let's call them Ragatmika Bhaktas.
okay, Prabhuji, sound clear, Prabhuji.
And
Thank you.
thank you. Somebody else has a question also. One Mataji said something.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Nanad Pranam, Prabhuji. Actually, I had a similar question what Prabhuji has asked. So Raganuga Bhakta can be Ragatmika Bhakta in future, right?
Once they go back to Godhead, once they are here, they can still become Ragatmika Bhaktas, but we may not know them. And we can consider them as Guru who can guide us, like pure devotees who can guide us. But we may not be able to follow them eternally because we don't know how they serve Krishna. Then we cannot follow them in that way. So it's safe to call them Prema Bhaktas, but internally they may have attained the stage of Ragatmika Bhakta. They may have crossed the sadhana stage and attained complete perfection like our spiritual master. But we say like pure devotees, they have attained the stage of prema, but we may not know how they serve them. So we may not be able to follow them in an eternal Siddha Swarup. But we can follow those who are already revealed to us. Does that answer, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, like in the Brahma Vrindavan, when Krishna comes to perform his pastimes, he comes with Ragatmika Bhaktas as well as they have Raganuga Bhaktas.
Well, Raganuga Bhakta is a stage of sadhana, Mataji. There may be those who are bhava and prema state, or um, Raganuga Bhakta can also go there. There may be some, and they are further purified. Raganuga is not a perfectional stage. Raganuga will take us to Bhava Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti will take us to Prema Bhakti. At the end of Raganuga, also, we may have some impurities. So, Raganuga is still a sadhana bhakti, means we are trying to develop that attachment. There is intellectual level still, there are impurities still. And Bhava Bhakti is way more deeper, and Bhava Bhakti is not part of Sadhana Bhakti. It's a the goal of sadhana is bhava. So that's an advanced stage of bhakti. So those who go generally they are at bhava and prema. Did that answer, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, anything else here? Okay.
Sorry, Prabhuji, one more question, please.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Yes. So when you were saying that our Guru Maharajas may have already attained the Ragatmika status, but we do not know about it. And we also know that it is our Guru Maharaj only who, through whom we will, our spiritual position will be revealed to us. So,
Yeah.
and then we always say that, yes, we serve under our Guru Maharaj. So, is there a possibility that in the spiritual world we might not serve under our Guru Maharajas, but they will place us under somebody else? If their status is different than what has been revealed to us as our service.
Yeah, there's a possibility, Mataji. And that will also be revealed to us by our spiritual master. Our spiritual master will, he is the only one who will reinstate us in our original position, whatever that is. And he is the one who will become the via medium to reveal. And in every step, his guidance will be there and he will reinstate us, but not necessary that we will serve under our spiritual master.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That helps a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, so I'm hoping that everyone is with me. Now, this is a quotation by, there's a conversation between Maharaj Yudhishthir and Narad Muni. And Yudhishthir Maharaj asked Narad Muni, how could Shishupal attain liberation when he was such an envious soul? And Narad Muni is speaking here, and he's saying that whether one remembers Krishna out of envy, out of fear, out of um, um, loving, conjugal love, in any way one remembers Krishna, one will become purified. So that's the verse. Many persons have attained liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention and giving up sinful activities. This great attention may be due to lusty desires, inimical feeling, which is Sishupal, fear, which is Kamsa, affection, and then devotional service, like Pandavas have affection, or any other form of bhakti. And lusty desires here refers to the gopis' love for Krishna, which is Kama Rupa, but this Kam here refers to the pure love. But because it's conjugal by nature, it may be referred in general term as lusty desires. Okay. People who attain Krishna in various ways. Gopya Kama Bhayat Kamso. Out of Kam, gopis. Out of Bhaya, Kamsa. Dveshat Chaitya Dayo Nripa. And out of Dvesh, hatred, Shishupal and other kings. Nripa is kings. Then Sambandhat Vishnaya. Out of Sambandha, which is Vishnus have a relationship. And then Sneha Yuyam. Sneha is affection, which is here referred to Pandavas. Then Bhaktya Vayam Vibho. And we by Bhakti, by Vedi Bhakti, like Narada Muni. So, though many ways of attaining Krishna are mentioned in the above verses, only two of them, Kama and Sambandha, are accepted as Ragatmika Bhakti. Okay, so first thing, just for example, Bhakti has to be Anukul, favorable. So out of hatredness, out of fear is gone. Now remaining is out of like okay, let's read and then I will explain. Dvesh and Bhaya are unfavorable emotions and are rejected as mode of bhakti. Sneha or affection of the Pandavas is not Ragatmika Bhakti. It is predominated by their awareness of his Aishwarya, which is not an aspiration for a Raganuga Bhakta. It's part of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So Sneha or affection, like Vrishnis or Pandavas, their relationship with Krishna is not, is there is some reverence there, and that puts them into Dwarka. So Pandavas are resident of Dwarka and so are Vrishnis. So they are not considered to Ragatmika Bhakti, where Ragatmika Bhakti um, is are basically the resident of Goloka Vrindavan, and they have no reverence for Krishna, but just pure love is there. For that reason, even affection and um, um, general relationships, sambandha, like Vrishnis, they also cannot be sneha or affection cannot be considered. Then inimical kings like Salva, Shishupal, Pondrak were absorbed in enviously thinking of Krishna's bodily movements, sporting pastimes, loving glances, and attractive features. So when they see Krishna, sometimes Krishna will give loving glances to his devotees. Sometimes Krishna will perform pastime, the way Krishna moves, and the form, the physical feature of Krishna. So they would see all this in Krishna. It was very attractive, but they became so completely absorbed and they hated Krishna. Like, for example, when somebody wants to be very beautiful, then they may see somebody else's beauty with envy, that why this person is more beautiful than me. And that form may be within the mind, but the reason it is within the mind is because of envy, because I want to be beautiful like them. So they saw Krishna, but every every kind of glories of Krishna they saw out of envy. Because of their absorption, they achieve spiritual liberation in the Lord's abode. If this is the result of fixing mind in Krishna in unfavorable mood, what to speak of constantly meditating on Krishna in a favorable loving mood? When out of envy thinking of Krishna is such a purifying effect, what to speak about thinking of Krishna out of love? When it is said that the enemies and friends of Krishna attain the same end, it is in the sense that impersonal Brahman and the personal form of Krishna are one entity, like the sun rays and the sun are one. So Rupa Goswami is distinguishing um, out of fear, out of uh, mm, hatred, envy. The destination they attain is not the same as attained by um, favorably loving Krishna, like the gopis and like the those who have sambandha, other relationship. Okay, so um, Rupa Goswami, he's taking this verse and he's telling there are five kind of relationship. Three are rejected either because of reverence or because of hatred or because of fear, and only two relationship remains, and one is conjugal love and one is general relationship, and that's why there are only these two kind of ragatmika bhaktas. Others are not considered ragatmika. So only two.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one question.
Uh,
So Pandavas are also, relatives. So Sambandha is there, correct, Prabhuji? So then why it's mentioned Sneha?
yeah, Sambandh
Somebody
is there.
considers.
So Prabhu, general understanding, Sambandh, this is like Pandavas have that reverence for Krishna. So they are not part of Vrindavan pastimes. And Raganuga Bhakti, Ragatmika Bhakti, these terms are used only for Vrindavan, Prabhuji. We will see that in little while. Raganuga is only for Vrindavan. For Dwarka and for Vaikuntha, only Vaidhi Bhakti will take us there. Raganuga is specifically required to go to Vrindavan. That's why they are not considered part of Ragatmika, and that's why we cannot follow them. That
Okay,
helps,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Anything else? Okay, so we have discussed what are Ragatmika Bhaktas, various kind of Ragatmika Bhakta from Shastra, eliminated few, and remaining with only two kind of Ragatmika Bhakta. One is Kama Rupa, one is Sambandha Rupa. Now, more detail, Kama Rupa, it constitutes an intense eagerness for giving pleasure to Krishna and not for personal enjoyment through conjugal relationship with full absorption. Um, then Prabhupada defines between lust and love. In lust, one has a relationship to get pleasure for oneself. In love, complete pleasure is meant for Krishna. So Prabhupada says, and not for personal enjoyment, only to give pleasure to Krishna through conjugal relationship. That is Kama Rupa. Like the gopis, they have absolute zero desire to enjoy Krishna in a conjugal relationship, but absolute the desire. Although it may seem like that Krishna disappeared and we went into sorrow, that is more of an external. Internal is they know Krishna will be happy only if we get a chance to serve Krishna, and they are unhappy when Krishna disappears because they really want to give pleasure to Krishna and absolute zero desire to enjoy. That's why these pastimes, they look like of this material world, but they are completely transcendental. There is pure love in this material world. It is mainly lust only. So this is Kama Rupa. Some more example, Braj Gopis. And this example is there. They are willing to go to hell in order to give their dust to Krishna when Krishna had a headache. Somebody with a desire to enjoy will not want to do something at the cost of their suffering. But because they have no desire to enjoy, but just to serve Krishna, if serving Krishna makes them distress and suffering, they're willing to go through it also because only desires to serve Krishna. That's an example. Because Gopis Bhakti is exalted prema, great devotees like Uddhava desire to follow them. Uddhava is a great devotee, a pure devotee, and he is willing to follow Gopis. So Gopis' relationship with Krishna, there is no lust there, absolute desire. Another example is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. After accepting sannyas, he strictly avoided association with women. We see how Chota Haridas, he Prabhupada says, lustfully looked at women and Mahaprabhu rejected him and he committed suicide and Mahaprabhu was okay with it. So that much how Mahaprabhu was strict with women association, but still he thought that there is no better method of worshipping Krishna than that conceived by the gopis. So their love, Prabhupada describes how, just to make us understand, it's absolute pure and absolute pleasure for Krishna, absolute zero desire for oneself. Kubja attraction for Krishna to Krishna is essentially due to calm or lust only. Kama prayadati. So her love cannot be compared to the love of the gopis because she is said to have rati to a small degree because the object of her attraction was Krishna. So she liked Krishna very much. So Krishna was wearing that upper cloth. So she started pulling the upper cloth of Krishna and telling Krishna, come to my house, please visit me. And Prabhupada says she also has some desire because Krishna is the most attractive. So she has some desire to enjoy Krishna's company also. Um, but it is still considered pure because it was not for anybody else but for Krishna. However, she is said to have rati to a small degree because the object of her attraction was Krishna. Her object of attraction was only Krishna. That's why considered pure, but there is desire to enjoy. But because desire to enjoy is only Krishna's enjoyment, it's pure love only. It is pure love. But gopis, their status is very high that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu want to follow them. So this is more on Kam Rupa. Sambandh Rupa, it is that bhakti inspired by great absorption arising from identifying oneself as the parent, friend or servant of Krishna. This refers to the bhakti of Brajvasis, Nanda Yashoda, Subal Madhumangal, Pattak Raktak. This is all Sambandha Rupa. We discussed this in Kama Rupa. Okay, I hope this is clear. It's more expansion now. Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, and there are two types. Brajvasis are fixed solely in Ragatmika Bhakti. One who is greedy to attaining a bhava similar to Vrajvasis is qualified for Raganuga Bhakti. So somebody may say, what is the qualification for Raganuga Bhakti? When can we begin Raganuga Bhakti? Rupa Goswami says the only qualification needed is greed, lobha. How much eager we are to serve Krishna like a Vrajvasi, whoever that Vrajvasi is, like a Ragatmika Bhakti. Bhakta, how intensely eager we are. I want to serve Krishna like this. Uh, those one who attain that greediness, that lobha, that eagerness, they are qualified to practice Raganuga Bhakti. That now another thing Prabhupada says that stage will come almost in all cases after anartha nivriti. Although there is a possibility, even while having anarthas, one may be very greedy to serve Krishna in a particular way, like a particular Brajvasi that has to be from the past life. They have already attained anartha nivriti, and over the start of this life, whatever anartha may have come back, um, but has to be a very advanced devotee from past life. Then only this intense greed or lobha will come. But the only qualification to start Raganuga Bhakti is intense greed to serve Krishna like a Vrajavasi. And if that Vrajvasi name is known to us, and just Madhu or Death, Madhu Mangalam, and one is heart is very much attracted, then you are qualified to serve Raganuga Bhakti. That greed or eagerness of the Raganuga devotee is not dependent on rules of scriptures and logic, but it is due to realizing the sweetness of the love of Rajvasi to some degree by hearing from scripture. How that greed will come? You hear how Madhu served Krishna, and your mind is overwhelmed with the loving relationship between Madhu and Krishna, the sweet relationship between them, and how he serves and how Krishna reciprocates. When the mind is overwhelmed by that, and we want to serve Krishna like Madhu, then we become qualified to practice Raganuga Bhakti. Such eagerness is like uh, Srila Prabhupada in the beginning, in the second chapter, Prabhupada says Raganuga Bhakti means now you are going for Mangal Arati because you like to go. And Vaidhi Bhakti is you are going because you have to go. So Shivara Maharaj says in one of his book that's maybe considered a beginning of Rag Bhakti, that there is some attachment. But actual Raganuga Bhakti is this: when one is greatly inspired by resident of Vrindavan by the sweet loving relationship between Krishna and resident of Vrindavan, want to serve Krishna like that. Now one is qualified to practice Raganuga Bhakti. Such eagerness is not possible unless one is free from material contamination, anartha nivriti. So there are two kinds of Raganuga Bhakti. One is Kamanuga. Again, the word Anuga means Anuga is there. So Kamanuga means follow Kama Rupa Ragatmika Bhakta. Again, we discuss Kama Rupa Ragatmika Bhakta, Vrajvasis, eternal Vrajvasis. So Kamanuga Bhakta, one example is a devotee want to serve Krishna like Lalita. A devotee want to serve Krishna like Rupa Manjari. So this example of now they are Kamanuga, Raganuga Bhaktas. Kamanuga, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. And Sambandhanuga, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti is like following Nanda or following Sambandha Rupa. Kam Rup means Kam Rup Ragatmika, Sambandh Rup Ragatmika. Kamanuga, now you want to follow a Kama Rupa. And there are four words: Kama Rupa, Sambandha Rupa, Kama Nuga, Sambandha Nuga. Another example of Shruti are uh, the daughters of demigods. They, when Krishna performed pastimes with the gopis, they were overwhelmed by how much love Krishna and gopis have. They wanted to participate Krishna like the gopis. They did sadhana like the gopis and meditated on how gopis serve Krishna. And then when Krishna came back the next day, then they came back as gopis. So Shruti followed gopis is like Kamanuga followed Kamarupa, or a Raganuga in conjugal love following a Ragatmika in conjugal love. Sambandhanuga, How long does a devotee follow scripture rules? Those who are qualified for Vaidhi Bhakti are dependent on the scripture rules till they attain Rati or Bhava Bhakti. One should follow the scripture rules and regulations till they have an intense greed and attraction for a Vrajvasi interaction with Krishna, the sweet reciprocation relationship. And one wants to follow that Vrajvasi. Now, when this is the driving force for bhakti, then all the rules and regulations goes into the water. Internally, externally, he still follows, but it is what he does is only driven by how this devotee serves Krishna, and it will come like a force, and we cannot avoid it. So, um, uh, okay. So, any question on this? What is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti? And what are the two types of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti? What is the qualification required to enter the path of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti? And so, and what which is eagerness, and that is not possible unless Prabhupada says, unless one is free from material contamination. When we have attachment and attraction to people in this world, then it won't be possible to have that greed or intense eagerness to follow a resident of Vrindavan. Purposes. First is anathanivritti. Okay, how are we doing? Understanding, not understanding, questions.
Hare Krishna Puja. So, Puja, I have here the previous last to last slide. It was mentioned who follows the Raganuga Bhakti is called Ragatmik Ragatmik Raga Ragatmita Mika Bhakti.
Okay, who follows Ragatmika Bhakta is a Raganuga Bhakta.
Who follows the Raganuga Bhakti is called Ragatmika Bhakti.
No, who follows Ragatmika Bhakta is a Raganuga Bhakta. Anuga means follow, Prabhuji. Anuga means follow. So one who follows out of attachment, a perfected soul, is a Raganuga Bhakta. So Ragatmika is perfected Brajvasi. Anuga, Raganuga follows a Ragatmika Bhakta.
Oh, okay. Oh, then I read it other way. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, concept is still simple, but these terms, if you're especially hearing for the first time, they can be a little bit confusing.
Yeah, that's I mean I think I have to go again this uh,
Yeah, if you just
recording.
yeah, and see the presentation 2-3 times, everything is there. You will get a good hold of it, Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Any other question on
Hare
this?
Krishna Prabhuji and Lord Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we are called Rupanugas, right? So Rupanugas means we are followers of the Rupanugas. So our mood should be like that Rupa Goswamis and do we
Rupa
have to
Manjari.
meditate do we have to meditate on Rupa Manjari only, or is there any
Uh-huh.
other
Thank you. Good
Vrindavan?
question.
Sir?
Yeah, Mataji, thank you. We are called Rupa Nuga. Again, followers. Anuga means follower. Rupa Nuga means follower of Rupa Goswami, because the whole path of what is Raganuga Bhakti, what is Ragatmika Bhakti, what is Bhava Bhakti, the whole path is shown by Rupa Goswami. So whether we are follower of Nandan Yashoda or we are follower, we are still all following Rupa Goswami because he is the guide for all of us. But among them, those who are attracted to a conjugal relationship with Krishna and a conjugal relationship following the moods of Manjaris, which will come in couple of slides from now, then they can follow Rupa Manjari also. But it's not necessary everybody has to follow Rupa Manjari, because this whole uh, path is revealed by Rupa Goswami, so we are all Rupa Nugas.
Thank you.
Clear, Mataji? Vasantas Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. One, I want a little enlightenment on Shruti followed gopis. Like, I just want to understand. I understand, like, they were eager, like how gopis are for, loving Krishna, their love. And how they got immediately that, so that they can next day they are able to
Well,
uh,
next day Brahma.
next, sorry bro,
Next day of Brahma.
next day of Brahma. Oh, okay.
So they perform millions of years of sadhana, and in their mind they would meditate on how gopis would serve Krishna, and all the interaction between gopis and Krishna, and how they would feel when Krishna would come, and they would absorb their mind, and they were completely saturated with that mood of gopi bhav.
So
And
they,
then
they first would have come to the prema state, Prabhuji, correct? Then, how they got to the Ragatmika stage? Then,
well, they are not they didn't go to Ragatmika stage. They were devotees, they were pious people, daughters of demigods, attracted by the gopis. They would meditate on gopis' love for Krishna. And then they came and participated as gopis when Krishna came next day. And then, yeah,
so if they are participating, so what we will call them such bhakta, like that's eternal relation at that time. What we should consider, how we should see that in that
yeah,
way.
thank you, Prabhu. One at the stage of some impurities can also go and participate in Krishna's pastime when Krishna comes on this planet. They are not yet considered as Ragatmika Bhaktas. Ragatmika Bhaktas are eternal, but once they are trained, even the finer impurities are removed and they join Krishna. Now they also become Ragatmika Bhaktas.
So in this context, Prabhuji, we should consider them like when they participated as impure, not completely pure, or
Yeah, I mean, Bhakti Charu Maharaj says when we go in this life, we can become almost pure, but the word almost is used. And whatever remaining is removed only when we have direct association of Krishna.
okay, Prabhuji. Yeah,
Clear? No.
yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
that final, what I understand, like Prabhuji, that final clearance will be once we will, participate in that pastime, then all, if any dint is there, of impurity will be removed.
Yeah, example, Radha Govind Maharaj says the gopis who have any little contamination, they could not join Krishna when Krishna played the flute. But because of that intense separation, even that is gone. And in future nights, they were also able to join Krishna. So not all of them who are participating, because some of them who are participating in Krishna's pastime are saints from previous lives. And they were not fully pure, like eternal associate. And by that separation from Krishna at that time, they became fully qualified and they joined. And then they became eternal associate at that point of time.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, helps.
Thank you. Anything else?
Sorry, Prabhuji, for maybe you already mentioned, I may missed it. Prabhuji, so Raganuga Bhaktas can become a Ragatmika Bhaktas in future?
You mean Raganuga Bhaktas?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, they will become Ragatmika. Na? Like right now, we are Vedi Sadhana Bhaktas. Eventually, Krishna mercy comes, we will become Raganuga Bhaktas. And then eventually, if Krishna allows, we may participate in Krishna's pastimes. And then directly participate. And then we may become completely pure and we may become eternal associate of Krishna. Then we will also become Ragatmika Bhaktas.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
So, Prabhuji, Rupanugas and Raganugas both are same, right?
Well, Rupa Nuga and Raga Nuga. Well, Rupa Nuga is everybody. Even if we are Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, we are Rupa Nuga because we are followers of Rupa Goswami. Whatever he has given us the 64 items of Vaidhi Bhakti, everything is coming from Rupa Goswami. So we are all Rupa Nugas. Raga Nuga is an advanced stage. When we follow our Ragatmika Bhakta, then we become Raga Nuga. Answers, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Anything else?
Prabhuji, Dhanur Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, here in the slide you say that the greed or eagerness of Raganuga devotee is not dependent on rules of scripture and logic. And down it is said that those who are qualified for Vaidhi are dependent on the scriptural rules till they attain Rati or Bhava Bhakti. So Bhava Bhakti is Raganuga Bhakti, right?
No, Bhava Bhakti is after Raganuga Bhakti, Mataji. Raganuga is still part of Sadhana Bhakti. The goal of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti is Bhava Bhakti.
Okay. Then here, because these two lines same, right? Like the Raganuga devotee is not dependent on rules of scripture. And here also it says, right, like then if Raganuga comes in Vaidhi, then why it is said that those who are qualified on Vaidhi are dependent? Here they are not dependent.
Yeah, Raganuga is not part of Vaidhi, it's a part of Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti, two types. One is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, one is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Vaidhi is according to rules and regulations, which is Vidhi. Vidhi means,
Mm-hmm.
and Raganuga means sadhana out of attachment. So Raganuga Sadhana Bhakta may not have that love for Krishna, but Raganuga Sadhana Bhakta, he's still intellectually doing sadhana when he begins, especially. For example, I really like Madhumangal. Now, Madhumangal feeds Krishna like this. Madhumangal smiles like this. Madhumangal cracks some jokes for Krishna like this. Madhumangal dances in the evening for Krishna like this. And I am focusing on how Madhumangal is dancing for Krishna. How Madhumangal is removing everybody from the stage and playing some jokes. How Madhumangal is doing this and this and this. Now I am using my intelligence to be there and follow Madhumangal and that relationship, but still an intellectual bhakti Mataji. It's still sadhana, means I'm practicing to become like him. I'm
But
practicing to
in
follow him.
that case, like somebody is really attracted to that kind of rasa or something, then only he will do, or it is like something just based on inspiration, or he heard something, or devotee heard something, and then so in
Yeah,
that principle, does that attraction principle needs to be there to a particular rasa or a devotee in Krishna Leela?
that's why greed, na? One who is greedy for attaining a bhava similar to Rajvasi is qualified Raganuga Bhakti. Means I must be really inspired that there is no Rajvasi like Madhumangal. If I have to go there, I really want to serve Krishna like Madhumangal. I mean, I'm not saying this from my heart. I'm just giving an example. So then, if I have a real greed to serve Krishna like Madhumangal, then I am qualified to practice Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. And that begins by hearing Krishna's interaction with all the interaction of different Brajvasis with Krishna. And then something may inspire, nothing may inspire. But if something inspires, just inspiration is not enough when there is sufficient lobha and greed. This is how I want to serve Krishna. Then, based on how intense the greed is, that much is a qualification of the devotee to practice Raganuga Bhakti.
Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one more question. So, Prabhuji, I heard in one of the class, even if you follow our acharyas, you can perfect your bhakti because they are the associates of Krishna. So,
and what do you mean by following the acharyas?
So that's what I wanted to understand, Prabhuji. Like my question lies there
Thank
only.
you. So if you follow Rupa Manjari, good. The internal bhav of them, their internal bhav, if you internally follow, now you are a Raganuga Bhakta.
Okay, and suppose suppose in Mahaprabhu Leela there are many Goswamis, right? Like Jiva Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. We see their devotion and everything to Krishna. So if we so like how can we follow them or we get inspired from them?
Yeah, next slide, probably I have a question for you there. And then you ask me the question again.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, one step ahead of us. Okay, anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. So, gopis and gopas are
both in the same category or they do
Gopas
have
are
different?
Sambandhanuga, Gopis are Kamanuga.
So, I mean, actually, why it is different with respect to like the bodies? I mean, their bhav should be similar, right? Like
Well, yeah,
it should not matter, right? Bodily. That's all.
well, okay. So these are the names. There are two types. Principle is the same for both. You choose a Ragatmika Bhakta and you follow them. You follow a Gopi, you follow a Gopa, you become like them. Principle is the same. And then there are two distinctions. That is based on the verse of Bhagavatam. That's why we read the verse of Bhagavatam spoken by Narad Muni, five kind of devotees. Three came out, two remain, so two divisions remain. That's how these two divisions come.
Okay, because I got confused. Like, Krishna is the only male kind of thing, right? And all other comes under Prakriti, right? So
Okay.
all should be serving Krishna on the same
Okay, thank you,
platform, right?
Mataji. So Prakriti does not mean there is no male body. Prakriti means they are not the enjoyers. Prakriti means to be enjoyed. So Madhumangal is also to be enjoyed. And when we say Krishna is the only male, we don't say Krishna is the only male. We say Krishna is the only Purusha. Krishna is the only Purusha means Krishna is the only enjoyer. Rest all are Prakriti means rest all are meant to be enjoyed. Does that clarify?
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, I hope you are all with me. Now method of how do we practice Raganuga Bhakti? Live in Vraja physically or mentally while remembering the Vrindavan form of Krishna, remembering the eternal devotees who serve Krishna in order to develop a mood similar to their mood. For say a follower of Madhumangal, should always think about how Madhumangal serves Krishna. So remembering the eternal devotees who serve Krishna in order to develop a mood similar to their mood. So how we remember different devotee will remember different eternal devotees, and they are our basically you can say Raganuga Guru in a way. Generally in informal term we say Raganuga Guru. Then absorbing oneself in hearing topics about them. Now that devotees become more specific, I want to hear only about Madhumanga. I mean, I can hear about Rup and Rati, Lalita and Vishakha. I can hear about Nanda Baba, but I am interested only in the beginning. One should hear about everybody. Once one clarifies what one wants to follow, then one wants to go deeper in that. So absorbing oneself in hearing topics about them and also associating with those devotees who hear about them. And that's actually what is the deep meaning of um, the association of those who have the similar bhav as us. Then association also becomes more specific. Hearing also becomes more specific. This is Mataji your answer. Seva sadhaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahi tadbhava lipshuna karya raja lokanu sadhaka. Service in sadhaka roop and siddha roop. One should serve Krishna in one sadhaka roop, present physical body, and in one siddha roop, a body which has been internally contemplated and is suitable for one's desired service, with a desire for a particular bhava. Following the Vrajvasi like Radha Lalita Vishakha Rupa Manjari and mentally serve Krishna in one Siddha Roop and Swarup Damodar Rupa Sanatan etc. in one Sadhaka Roop and physically serve Krishna in Sadhaka Roop. So if we are following our Acharyas, say if we are following Rupa Goswami, then externally I want to, suppose I'm following Rupa Goswami, then externally I want to see how Rupa Goswami humility was. How Rupa Goswami, what was Rupa Goswami's service, how he served the society, how he spread Krishna consciousness movement, or how his life was, like how his day was. So externally, what was his mood? So externally, this is called um, um, seva sadhaka rupena. Seva we do externally in a sadhaka roop, following an associate of Mahaprabhu. This is called seva sadhaka rupena, siddha rupena chatrahi, and siddha roop I follow Rupa Manjari. So internally, how Rupa Goswami would internally serve Radha and Krishna, likewise I will serve internally Radha and Krishna, following or absorbing myself in Rupa Manjari service to Radha and Krishna. And externally for society, I will serve the way Rupa Goswami is serving, like spreading the mission, writing books, um, uh, maintaining the humility. So both.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yes, yes, Prabhuji. I got the answer. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Any other questions so far on this? How to practice Raganuga Bhakti? I mean, the purpose is not that we follow Raganuga Bhaktas tomorrow. It's, I mean, if you're qualified, or glories to you, pray for me also. But the idea is you should be able to understand and write. You should be able to, you should become clear. So when that time comes, you know what to do and you know what not to do. So basically, how do we practice Raganuga Bhakti? Simple terms. Remember the devotee whom you want to follow, the Ragatmika Bhakta, the Brajvasi whom you want to follow. Hear about that Brajvasi, eternal associate. So, for example, hear about Rupa Manjari, how she serves Radha and Krishna. And if you are very inspired and greedy to serve like her, then you serve Radha and Krishna under her direction, or you just meditate on how she is serving Radha and Krishna, and externally you serve how he served Mahaprabhu's mission as Rupa Goswami. So you live in Vrindavan either mentally or physically. You remember the associate, you hear about the associate, you meditate on the associate and their service to Krishna, and then at advanced stage you may also serve under their direction. um, but general recommendation is just meditate on how they serve Krishna. That's how it begins. And externally serve Mahaprabhu mission as if like this, all this our spiritual masters, they have crossed Raganuga Bhakti. They are at the stage of Bhava and Prema Bhakti now. Now just like Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti has Raganuga within it anyways. They are anyways doing that, but they are not in a stage of sadhana now. They are in a stage of perfection rather, Bhava and Prema. So they have an uh, uh, internal seva, that is what is called Nikunja Nagatikali Siddhi. They internally serve Radha and Krishna under guidance, but externally they serve Mahaprabhu mission as if they are one among us. And that's the method of practicing Raganuga Bhakti. And Prabhupada condemns people like who wear sari in a male body and they dances with somebody who uh, becomes Krishna, and then they do all these kind of cheap things. So that is not, that's why it says Seva Sadhaka Rupena. In Sadhaka Roop you serve, and in Siddha Roop you serve. Okay. Any questions so far? How are we doing? Are we able to understand? Is it very difficult to understand?
Prabhuji, I have a question, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
So, Prabhuji, here Seva Sadhaka Rupa and Siddha Rupa, does it go parallelly or it will be like
Parallel.
so
Hmm.
once you
See,
so
it
it is
says,
parallelly.
it says a body which has been internally contemplated and is suitable for one's desired service.
Okay.
Siddha Rupa. So you may think yourself as a Gopa, you may think yourself as a Gopi, and you are serving or remembering, assisting. So you are serving and this is not speculation. This is not, although it says internally contemplated, but this is based on intense greed to serve Krishna like a particular Brajvasi.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. How is everybody doing? Are we able to grasp? Is it
Sorry,
too complex? Yes, Himanshu. How are we
okay.
doing, first of all? Are you able to understand?
Yeah, Prabhuji. One question I have. So when you said Prabhu greed, the greed will only come, how that greed develop based on the like what we are hearing, whom we are associating, that you know, like the where is the
Greed
starting
comes.
point of that greed by
Hearing about
association
Krishna.
of hearing about Krishna, that
Hearing about Krishna and how basically how the associates of Krishna serves Krishna. Hearing about Krishna and Krishna's associates, and that's where some light bulbs will glow. That's why there is a lot of emphasis on hearing specifically about Krishna. And that will, I mean, naturally, the first step is when we become free from anarthas, which kind of disqualifies many of us. But once that is done, and then you hear about Krishna, you are attracted to some devotee, and like not like this is nice, but like deep attachment. And then one particular resident of Vrindavan stands out like anything compared to all the above, and then a strong greed comes that I want to serve Krishna like this. That's the beginning of Raganuga Bhakti. Then you can start practicing what what steps are given by Rupa Goswami. And once you're practicing that, now you will be called a Raganuga Sadhana Bhakta.
it could be Prabhuji cultivate from the mood of the guru also, like based on the what
It's not
the
dependent upon Guru's mood, Prabhuji. Guru will guide you internally and externally also if you take guidance. Otherwise, internally he may guide you based on your mood with Krishna. And your mood does not necessarily match with Guru's mood. Not necessarily.
okay, Prabhuji.
Seems like a lot of your okay, Prabhuji has some heaviness there.
A little heavy, Prabhu, so I'm just trying to absorb.
I know many devotees have told me earlier that it's a little bit different times here. But that's why we have this discussion so we can take questions. How are others doing? Are we able to follow?
Yeah, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Even though it is so complex, but thankfully, by your mercy, it's settling in. The answers, questions, that are really helping. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm just an instrument who is repeating my time. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes.
When can one start following Rupanuga? I mean,
Raganuga.
Raganuga, sorry. Yes.
Well, Prabhuji,
is it natural, like you said? Sorry, go ahead.
Krishna will reveal to you when the right time comes. You will be attracted to hearing about Krishna. When you hear about Krishna, and you will hear about Krishna, and anathas goes down. And then there may be some spark. And then ultimately Krishna will guide us, Prabhuji. I asked one sannyasi Maharaj, what is the way to this? Maharaj just said me one thing. He says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamo pariyantite. Krishna says, those who are always engaged in serving me with love, I give them the intelligence by which one can come to me. And what Krishna means by saying, I give them the intelligence by which they can come to me is this, what we are discussing today.
Understand, Prabhuji. One additional question, Prabhuji. I got that one. Can you elaborate a little bit more on this Seva Sadhak Rupena?
So, Prabhu, for example, I really like Subal. So, externally, I may follow Gauridas Pandit and how he served Krishna, how he served the deity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Or if I'm very much attracted to Lalita and Vishaka, then I'm very much attracted to how Ramananda and Swarup Damodar Goswami serve Krishna. So, Sadhak Roop. Their Sadhak Roop of Lalita Sakhi is Swarup Damodar Goswami. and their Siddha Roop is Lalita Sakhi. Sadhak Roop Vishaka Sakhi is, and that's why Kavi Kannapon has given the Sadhak Roop and the Siddha Roop of all the associates of Lord Chaitanya. So externally, in a sadhak body, you serve like they serve in their sadhak body, doing their sadhana, serving Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, serving the mission, and internally they are serving Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan. So both goes parallel. One is internal contemplation, one is external. And external is everybody will see only external. Internal is just between you and Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji. Got it. Thank you.
Like while chanting, what you think in your chanting, and if you have that lobe and that purity, then you can be like one Maharaj, no names, one Maharaj mentions when he chants, he thinks about assisting Srimati Radharani cooking for Krishna. And then he thinks about what all ingredients she's using, what all instructions she is giving and he is following, and how she's cooking. And there is, it's like an internal mood. It's an internal contemplated mood which is based on intense lobha and greed. And there is a very direct service happening there internally. Then externally, he meets devotees, he gives initiations, he performs kirtan, he leads the classes, and externally everything is like just like we do, he does. But his internals are very much different. And that's what today we're discussing the word grave. Grave means is the internal you cannot know about the internal of a devotee. Nobody can know the internal of a devotee. That's one of the quality of austerity of mind, is be grave. But of course, for us, internal, external, same only. So there is no definition of gravity for us. But then when we go at this principle, then we actually understand what it means. That clarifies, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anybody else has any discussion question? Okay, I think we have just one or two slides. One should accept the angas of Vaidhi
One
Bhakti.
small question. Sorry.
Yes, Vasant Asmati, bataiye.
Prabhuji, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is the Siddha Rupa, they will serve, right? So how do
It's a
we know
sadhaka rupa. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela associates as sadhaka rupas.
Sadhaka Rupa? So how do we know those associates spiritual form or what they are in their?
There is a book called God Ganodesha Deepika by Kavi Kannapun that describes all of their associates and who they are in Krishna Leela.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Maharaj. Okay, one should accept the angas of Vaidhi Bhakti like hearing and chanting and surrendering to the Guru, which are favorable to one's cultivation of Raganuga Bhakti, conducive to one's own sentiment. So one should hear, which is conducive to one's Raganuga Bhakti. One should chant, which is conducive to one's Raganuga Bhakti, which is naturally, like for example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would discuss with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a sadhaka roop. In Siddha roop, he is Radha and Krishna, of course. But he came apani bhakti sikhai nu achari Jivan, up through his own life he taught. So he would discuss the topics of Radha Rani with Swarup Damodar and Ramananda. So this is his chanting and his hearing. And in association, they would read book written by Jaidev Goswami, written by Sridhar Swami, and others on deeper topics of Radha and Krishna. And Mahaprabhu would relish that. But when he was in public, he would ask them to chant Hare Krishna. He would give them prema, which is a general prema. And when he was internal, so one should accept the angas of Vaidhi Bhakti like hearing, chanting, and sending to the Guru, which are favorable to one's cultivation of Raganuga Bhakti. Now, it can be one's Diksha Guru, it can be one's, like, pure devotee Siksha Guru. If one cannot get, because our Guru Maharajas, they also have a mood, they have a relationship. But then if we have a mood different from our Guru Maharaj, then even one of the pure devotee Siksha Guru can also give us that guidance. It can be either. Shivara Maharaj mentions that. There he gives an example of Hridaya Chaitanya, whose guru Gauradas Pandit was in Sakya, but he was in Madhurya, conjugal love. So he got that relationship to Jiva Goswami, under Jiva Goswami, who was like a Siksha Guru for Hriday Chaitanya. So sending to one's guru, hearing and chanting, these are different angas of Vaidhi Bhakti. One accept in Raganuga stage in such a way that is favorable to one's cultivation of Raganuga Bhakti and conducive to one's own sentiment. So he does only that thing that is conducive to his sentiment with Krishna, to whom he wants to follow. Of course, these are very deep topics. Somehow or other, our GBC wants us to understand this and wants us to even write exam on it. So, because this is what Mahaprabhu came to give us. This is the essence. And that's why we are discussing this. Of course, these are not the topics that are meant to be discussed in public, except those who are writing Bhakti Shastri and who want to become. Because Bhakti Shastri means you understand the essence, you understand the how Bhakti works, and you understand both the simple concept and deeper concept, and you understand it. Not necessarily that we have to follow, but the only requirement is that we understand it, and rest is between our sincerity and when Krishna reveals. But if we have a guidance like how it works, then we will build up from our understanding when we actually get in that direction. And there are many books on this, so there is a lot of guidance already there by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, by and many ISKCON sannyasis also books are there. Whole book on Raganuga Bhakti, and much more depth and detail with much more examples are there. But when we get to that stage, Krishna will bring us to those books, and we will read those books, and we get further guidance and further guidance. Everything is by mercy of Krishna will happen. Who is Shivram Swami? He is one of the sannyasi in ISKCON. He has many books on Raganuga Bhakti. He propagates this. You can search him. Very famous in ISKCON. Okay. We go.
One last question, Prabhu. I'm a little confused. That Siddha Swarupa, one can reveal that his like Siddha Rupa, like what his internal feeling, how he's serving in internal mood, as you mentioned, like chanting that Maharaj is serving Radharani kitchen. Is it okay to reveal that information to the like his disciple in external platform or not?
Generally not, but in written form they reveal. But generally not.
In what form, Prabhuji?
Written form.
Written form, okay.
Like Rupa, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes poem, I am serving as Kamala Manjari. Sasai Thakur reveal I am Nayana Manjari, Nayanamani Manjari. Our Goswamis revealed themselves. Srila Prabhupada chose not to reveal, and he did not write anyway. But some of them have revealed, but not like in lectures or something. But when they write books, they even write some of their realizations and some of their practices to help those who want to follow in that direction to get some guidance. And unless they write and we hear, we have no idea. Guidance comes by Mahajana Katha Sapanta. We can follow the great souls. But right now, I mean, I'm talking about myself, very, very beginning stage of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And that's why these topics are very much theoretical for me. But at the same time, I'm just trying to share theoretical understanding. And when Krishna brings you to that stage, Krishna will guide you towards those books and will help you to the next steps.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, I think we have, I don't know. Okay, then Kamanuga Bhakti, that Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, which exhibits an eagerness to follow the Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti of the Siddha Bhaktas, the gopis called Kamanuga Bhakti. It's of two types. This is important. One is Sambhoga Ichamai, is characterized by directly giving conjugal enjoyment to Krishna. And one is Tad Bhave Ichatmika, is characterized by desiring the sweet mood of love. Bhava Madhurya Kamita, of a particular gopi without desiring a direct conjugal enjoyment with Krishna. This is the chief type of Kamanuga Bhakti. So what is Kamanuga? Kamanuga is a devotee, advanced devotee who is following either gopis or manjaris. There are two types. Sambhoga Ichha. Sambhoga Ichha means they have a desire to have a direct physical relationship with Krishna, only to give pleasure to Krishna. Absolutely zero desire to enjoy. But they want to give pleasure to Krishna with the physical relationship. Like we seen in Bhagavatam, there are, like Prabhupada said, there is no sex life, but things like dancing is there, kissing is there, embracing is there, those things are there. And that is like trying to give pleasure to Krishna, absolutely with zero desire to enjoy. And that is called Sambhoga Ichha. Sambhog means a direct conjugal enjoyment to Krishna, giving direct conjugal enjoyment to Krishna. Then there is Tad Bhava Ichhatmika, means they do not have absolute zero desire to even dance with Krishna. They just want to, for example, help Radha dance with Krishna, and they have zero desire to dance with Krishna. I just want to see Radha and Krishna together. This is the mood of Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari. They come under this Tad Bhave Chatmika. And Prabhupada says this is the chief type of Kamanuga Bhakti. Most of the devotees in our Sampradaya, they come under this category of bringing Radha and Krishna together. Is characterized by desiring the sweet mood of love of a particular gopi without desiring a direct conjugal enjoyment with Krishna. Of course, there is absolute zero enjoyment for themselves, anybody in Goloka Vrindavan. But their pleasure comes from bringing the particular object of their love, the particular gopi with Krishna. This is the chief type of Kamanuga Bhakti. So these are two types of Kamanuga Bhakti. Qualification for the two types of Kamanuga Bhakti: to develop longing for the bhavas of the gopis after seeing the sweetness in the deity form of Krishna and the gopis, and after hearing about Krishna's pastime with the gopis. Even men can attain this bhakti from Padma Puram. So, what is the qualification for Kamanuga Bhakti? The primary is hearing about Krishna's pastimes with the gopis. The primary method is hearing about Krishna's pastime with the gopis. And Prabhupada says, seeing or serving the like Radha and Krishna deity specifically. Specifically, Prabhupada says by serving Radha and Krishna in temples, Prabhupada says you get qualification to perform Kamanuga Bhakti or Raganuga Bhakti. It will give you the qualification to practice Raganuga Bhakti. So, to develop longing for the bhava of the gopis, if somebody want to develop longing of serving Krishna like the gopis, two things are important. One is seeing the sweetness of the deity form of Krishna and the gopis. For us specifically, Radha and Krishna, or Radha, Krishna, Lalita, and Vishakha, and serving them. Another is after hearing about Krishna's pastime with the gopis, and even men can attain this bhakti. Padma Puran. So, what are the two kinds of Kamanuga Bhakti? What is Kamanuga Bhakti? Follow eternal, either Radharani, Lalita, Vishakha, Rupa, Rati. This is Kamanuga Bhakti. Following them is Kamanuga Bhakti. There are two types. Following those who have direct relationship and wanting to have a direct relationship, or following those who don't have direct relationship and absolute zero desire to have a direct relationship. Manjaris, most of them have zero desire to have direct relationship, like um, Roop and Rati. Um, but the gopis like Lalita and Vishakha, they have desire for a direct relationship with Krishna also. So somebody can follow them, somebody can follow Roop and Rati, but most of the Gaudiya Vaishnava follow this Manjari Bhav, this Roop and Rati. And the qualification is one is serving or seeing the sweetness of the deity form of Radha and the Krishna and the gopis, for us Radha and Krishna, and the hearing about Krishna's pastime with the gopis. And independent of whether we are men or women, even men can attain this Kamanuga Sadhana Bhakti Padma Purana. Okay. I know it's going one more level depth, but how are we doing? Are some of you able to follow? Everyone is able to follow.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji, thank you. Able to follow, especially this last slide, made it very clear because I was having so much confusion about Gopi Bhav and Manjari Bhav. Not that anywhere close to anything, but still, just like you say, when we keep reading, certain things come in the mind. Thank you so much. This explains a lot, this particular slide, the last one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. You're welcome.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Mataji.
sorry, you can continue, Prabhuji, Mataji's question. Can I go ahead, Prabhuji?
Go ahead.
Prabhuji, in exam, do we have to mention these terms, Tad Bhave Chatmika Bhakti? Like, I'm just asking because these are very difficult terms.
Well, one is Sambhoga Ichha. Very easy, right? Sambhoga Ichha means I have desire for Sambhog. And other is Bhava Ichha. Only भाव की इच्छा है, संभोग का इच्छा नहीं है। केवल वो जो भाव है ना कॉन्जुगल का, उस भाव की इच्छा है केवल। तद भाव मीन्स उस भाव को मैं फॉलो करना चाहता हूँ, कॉन्जुगल भाव को, तो मुझे संभोग नहीं करना। वो तद्भाव इच्छा. So A and I together becomes E. So become bhav ichhatmika and sambhog ichamai. Easy, right?
Yes. And
जैसे
bhava madhurya kamita. This is I think about the love of gopis.
हाँ, माधुर्य का जो काम उसका भाव को फॉलो करना। अभी जैसे वो बोलते ना, यद भाव तद भवति, कृष्णा बोलते हैं, मीन्स whatever you remember at the time of that you attain that form. डियर को डियर बन गए, यद भाव तद भवति। तो हमारा तो भाव क्या है? वो भाव है संभोग का भाव नहीं,
माधुर्य कामिता,
केवल भाव की इच्छा है। एक है संभोग की इच्छा। Question
Yes,
can be,
Rajina.
what are the two types of Kamanuga Bhaktis? What is Kamanuga Bhakti? What are the two types of Raganuga Bhakti? What is Ragatmika Bhakti? Difference between Ragatmika Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti? Two types of Ragatmika Bhakti, two types of Kamanuga Bhakti. Yeah. And if this much we understand,
section.
Yeah, if this much we understand, probably we'll pass the exam. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Roji.
Thank you. Okay, anything else? Men who become gopis, example is the sages of Dandakaranya, saw Lord Ram and desired to enjoy with Krishna, who is more attractive than Ram, by becoming women in his upcoming descent in Gokul. So basically, sages became a gopi form in Krishna Leela. So even men can attain this kind of Kamanuga Bhakti. A woman may develop the emotion of a Gopa in Vrindavan, and a man may develop the emotion of a Gopi in Vrindavan. Our current body does not have any meaning. This internally contemplated form is based on what we are attracted to hearing. And then if a Vaidhi Bhakta desires an amorous relationship with Krishna, but not like that of the gopis, he or she will attain in future, not as quickly as in Raganuga Bhakti, the position of a queen of Krishna in Dwarka. We are going to one more level. Okay, so a Vaidhi Bhakta means he doesn't hear Krishna's pastimes. He is not attracted to any particular gopi, any particular, he doesn't want to follow, or he doesn't know, and doesn't know anything, and he's simply a Vaidhi Bhakta. He just chanted 16 rounds. He preaches, he reads, and then he's doing normal seva. He's not following Raganuga Bhakti. He's a Vaidhi Bhakta, but he's very much attracted to Krishna and Radha, or relationship, or Krishna and gopis. He's very much attracted, but because he's not following Raganuga, he cannot go to Vrindavan. Going to Vrindavan is only possible through Raganuga Bhakti, but he will end up in Dwarka, and he'll become a queen of Krishna in Dwarka. Through Vaidhi Bhakti, one can go up to Dwarka, but to Vrindavan, only Raganuga Bhakti will take us. And that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us this. And that's why all the other Sampradaya, they have no understanding of Raganuga Bhakti. So all the other Sampradaya, Vrindavan is not accessible. Even they consider Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. 3 Sampradaya out of 4 consider Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vrindavan is not accessible. Vrindavan is only Raganuga Bhakti that Krishna himself came to give, because Chaitanya Charitamrita says that Krishna was thinking, how can I bring them to me? Krishna and Vrindavan, he was thinking. I have not given them the way. I have told them surrender to me, but I have not told them how to bring them to me. An example is Lakshmi Devi. She wants Krishna. She wants to participate in Krishna's pastime, but she doesn't want to follow the gopis. And that's why even she is still doing tapasya and she is not able to get access to Vrindavan. Because to get to Vrindavan, only a resident of Vrindavan can give us access. Even Radha and Krishna cannot give us access to Vrindavan. And follow a resident of Vrindavan is Raganuga Bhakti. So if a Vaidhi Bhakta, he desires a amorous relationship with Krishna, like that of not like that of gopis, means just a amorous relationship with Krishna. Krishna is very handsome. There is no Tribanga form in Dwarka. Actually, in Dwarka, just the king form is there. But okay, he has a desire for amorous relationship with Krishna. He will end up in Dwarka unless he becomes a Raganuga Bhakta. Those who have a desire to taste the sweetness of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, but worship according to Vaidhi Bhakti, do not attain Krishna in Dwarka, nor can they attain Radha Krishna in Vrindavan, because they didn't follow the Rag Marg. Since they follow Vaidhi Marg and have a predominance of awareness of Krishna as the Lord, Aishwarya Gyan, they attain Radha Krishna in a portion of Vrindavan called Aishwarya Goloka, the place where Krishna resides with majesty. Krishna showed Aishwarya Goloka planet to the Gopas after Nand Maharaj was kidnapped. When Nand Maharaj was kidnapped, then all the Gopas were like, who are you? Then Krishna in the water showed them Aishwarya Goloka. Aishwarya Goloka is where Radha and Krishna are worshipped, but they know Krishna is God. So those who worship Radha and Krishna but don't follow a resident of as resident of Goloka, they cannot access Radha Krishna and Goloka, but they access Aishwarya Goloka, where Radha and Krishna can be worshipped either like deities or with awe and reverence. They go to that part. In other words, what Mahaprabhu came to give us, the 16-year-old Krishna, where nobody treat him as God, that portion of Vrindavan is accessible only to a resident of Vrindavan, and that's why there is Raganuga Bhakti. Example, the saintly sons of Agani performed Vaidhi Bhakti, achieved bodies of women, and attained Lord Vasudev as their husband, not lover. Mahakurma Puran. Rupa Goswami gives this example. I mean, no need to remember, but if we understood the principle, it's good. Agni's son, they practiced Vaidhi Bhakti, um, but achieved body of woman and attained Lord Vasudev as their husband. Vasudev means they went to Dwarka and they got married in Dwarka, in Queen's body, but Vrindavan is not accessible. So how are we doing now? Are we still together? Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam.
So, Prabhuji, I have a basic question, and just to understand, if we pray to, say, Ash Sakhis, then do we get Raganuga Bhakti?
Raganuga Bhakti, you will get two primary ways. One is by Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti when the heart becomes pure. Another is by hearing the pastimes of Krishna.
So
Then,
when we hear the pastimes of Krishna, Prabhuji, sometimes the feelings are on and off. It's not constant, because when we are hearing something, then yes, we are in that zone, we are in that mood. But as soon as we just turn off that
yes.
pastime, so
Yeah, join the club. We are all in the same boat. And first thing is we hear only um, only basically first we finish Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then if we are inspired, we can hear more about specific study of Krishna's pastimes. But even when we hear, if we don't have Krishna's mercy, we will not come to know what to follow, whom to follow. But rest assured, if we are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, rest 100% assured, all of us in the room will at some point of time practice this bhakti. We are not going to go to Dwarka, we are not going to go to anywhere other than Krishna in Vrindavan. And that desire for whom to follow will arise when we are qualified. If not in this life, in the next life. But we all will end up there only. So we all don't have to worry. But just the desire itself is sufficient. If you have desire at some point of time, if you have this understanding, at some point of time when Krishna reveals, and then if your heart is open to follow, you will follow and you will go there. So no need to worry. But when that is revealed, that is only Mahaprabhu can take us to Radha and Krishna. Only Mahaprabhu has revealed this, and Mahaprabhu will reveal. That's why our main focus now is service to Lord Chaitanya. And this, when it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, we'll wait for lifetimes to come. But if we have that understanding, that's all we need at this point of time. Thus, we don't really have to pray to anyone to give us this, because it will not be coming to us till we qualify ourselves, and only that sadhana bhakti will qualify. That's why anybody follow Raganuga bhakti and not having the level of purity that is required and still attached to men and women in this world, then we become sahajiyas. Sahajiya means without qualification, we are trying to practice an advanced stage of bhakti that we are not qualified for. And that creates utpad, Rupa Goswami says. If you practice without the qualification, it will disrupt our spiritual life. So we don't want to create utpad in our life, in our spiritual life. But we want to organically grow, we want to understand, and we want to organically grow, and we want to qualify ourselves that Mahaprabhu gives us that and Gurudev gives us that, and we should be patient enough to wait. But we should have the understanding simultaneously. All right?
Yes, Prabhuji, that seems like a long way. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Okay. Anybody else?
Prabhuji, it may be stupidest question. Prabhuji, I heard that devotees who already went to Goloka back to Godhead, if they remember us, there is a chance for us to go back to. How that works, Prabhuji? Just
We'll get a desire. They will give us association of devotees who are practicing, and we will be inspired, and we will practice like them. They will make arrangement, but this path we have to follow, Mataji. Bhakti Tit Maharaj, when he said, I will make arrangements for all of you to come. To his disciples, he said. So arrangements will be made. And, whether it is internally, whether it is through the association, we will be brought to the right resource, the right devotees. And when we walk that path, we will have a instant inspiration. And then when we follow, we'll be able to absorb. Everything will naturally happen to us. But the path one has to follow.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Guruji, one last question. So this Aishwarya Golaka is a place where Radha Krishna worship has happened, correct, Guruji? In the deity form?
Yes, in Goloka.
Because the Vaidhi Sadhaka, because they did not choose in the Raga mark, so they are kind of considering them as a lord, and then that's why Aishwarya, basically Aishwarya Bhav. Is that correct?
Yeah, you seem very scared though.
No problem. I'm just trying to understand.
It's a correct understanding, Ramesh.
Yeah. Thank you, Guruji.
Okay, so last slide I think is Sambandha Nuga Bhakti. This is very simple. Defines, we discussed all the concept. Now just change the concept to any other relationship, and the principle works the same for all. Devotees define it as bhakti in which there is constant contemplation of oneself as a parent, friend, or servant of Krishna, and identifying with that role. Offense is thinking oneself to be Nanda or Subal is offensive, but following Nanda or Subal and cherishing the idea of being Krishna's father or friend is desirable. I want to be a friend of Krishna. I want to be a father of Krishna. Krishna is like my son. That is desirable. But I want to become Nanda. I want to become Subal. That is offensive. There is only one, there's only one Subal. We cannot replace them, but we can follow them and we can have a similar relationship. The mood and actions of Subal, Nanda, and others have been described in Bhagavatam so that the devotee can perform similar service mentally. So, how Subal serves, Nanda serves, and how the gopis serve, and how the Radharani serves. In Srimad Bhagavatam and in the book of our Acharyas and Goswamis, everything is mentioned. So the devotee, and the reason it's mentioned so the devotee can perform similar service mentally. An old carpenter in Hastinapur worshipped a deity form of Krishna as his son. Um, so he worshipped a deity form of Krishna as his son, following the footsteps of Nanda Maharaj. On the instruction of Narad Muni, he performed physical service in his sadhaka deha, thinking that the deity was directly Krishna. He thus attained the perfection of having Krishna as his son. Skanda Purana. An example, Narad Muni said, "Here is Krishna deity. You serve this deity as your son." Internally, he would serve Krishna as Nanda Baba. Externally, he will do deity worship, just like a devotee. And finally, he attained the position of like a father of Krishna. The cause of Raganuga Bhakti is attaining the mercy of Krishna and his pure devotees. Some call this type of devotion as Pushti Marg also. Generally, Pushti Marg is referred to Vallabhacharya Sampradaya. They call it Pushti Marg. But the Pushti Marg is general term we also use. How one can come to Raganuga Bhakti? Only by Krishna's mercy and his pure devotees. When Guru and Krishna are pleased with us, they will give us entrance to Raganuga Bhakti. And because it is very nourishing, that Raganuga Bhakti, it is also called by the word Pushti means nourishing. It is also called Pushti Marg. Okay, so that was the end. Any last thoughts discussion? Otherwise, we finish 2 more chapters today. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Dhanyavad Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this session was so deep that,
For me also, it was very deep to speak. It was like, how do I speak this?
And Prabhuji, I'm thinking that I will read and read and read and read and read. But if you were not there, I would not understand all what you have explained. So, Prabhuji, I highly appreciate, greatly appreciate you giving this session to us, So at least not even 1% or 0.5% that I can understand, I know I've gained something, Prabhuji.
Well, you all will be able to practice, and I will stay here on this material birth after birth, just speaking on these topics. And you all will practice and go back to Godhead. So this is my unfortunate position.
We will definitely, Prabhuji. We will practice, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your mercy, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I think if nobody has any other question, we can end here. I obviously spoke something I don't practice at all, but it needed to be spoken, so I spoke as part of the course. Anything inappropriate, please forgive me as your humble servant. My obeisances. Vanchakalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubhe evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavendra ki jai. Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you.
So
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri
Dandavat
Prabhupada.
Pranam. Hare Krishna.